Welcome to the Online Entrepreneur Experience podcast that details the ins and outs, the how-tos, and the ups and downs of living a life of an online business owner.
What is going on? How's it going? I hope you're having a blessed week. Mr. Dueces and The Viking are here to drop some value on you. This week, we're not going to go into like a crazy big topic because the last few weeks we've gone into some pretty epically deep topics. I think we've given you some awesome stuff to think about. So if you want a more deep episode, go check out one of our last couple because they've been bombs. But this
bombs,
week,
baby.
We're wrapping up this year, 2021. I know for me, it's been arguably the hardest year of my life, but I've had the most success in so many different areas of my life than I've ever had. Like probably the most successes, even though it hasn't all showed up on paper, I've had by far the most successes. And I will not understate this at all. This has been the hardest year of my life in so many different ways. And I'm pretty sure probably you as a viewer have felt the exact same way. 2021 has been tough. We all thought 2020 was a tough year. 2021 has been epic too. But Mr. Deuces, what do you feel about this year for yourself?
2021, I have to agree, it's been the hardest yet most successful because I started my online business in 2021. So beginning of that, the excitement and everything, and then when you realize how much work it takes, and once you put in the work and you see the successes, that's where I'm at right now. So I am excited for 2022. I don't want to dive into how hard it actually was for me in 2021 because that's a long story and it's kind of it's based on negativity, which I don't like. I want to think positive. I want to think the future. So let's talk about 2022. We only have a few days left of 2021. So what do you got planned for 2022? How are you gonna hit that year?
So some of the stuff that I like doing, like even before I start planning out, like I want to finish off. Like so what I'm trying to say is like I like to finish off a year with a clean slate and as much clean slate as I possibly can. So I think one of the things that we do as human beings so often is we take this baggage, like maybe it's a to-do list, maybe it's some goals that we wanted to hit or whatever. And we take them and we carry them along and we keep carrying them along and they're baggages that play in the back of our heads, right? So as I end a year, I like to start a next year clean. And because there's so much energy that happens as the year changes. I don't know the whole science behind it, but I know there is science behind it. As the year switches over, there's a bunch of energy that goes all around. And it's so amazing to feel that energy. And it's awesome to just savor in those moments. So you want to be able to really take in as much as that as you possibly can. And you won't be able to do that with this to-do list of things that you said that you wanted to do at the beginning of the year and you still haven't accomplished them, and all these other things that have come along the way of goals and things that you've wanted to do. So what I like to do is just check off that list, figure out like what is actually worth it to take with me along the way and what is not. And what I would say with that is you have to have some sort of value system. And that value system, you should have 5 big things that you want to accomplish, want to do. And that's in all aspects of life. Maybe it's your health, maybe it's your wealth, maybe it's all the other things in between. But you should have 5 things that you're working on. And if those things don't correlate with those 5 things that you want to work on going into next year, you should be eliminating them. There's this one quote by the lady that who does the Huffington Post. Who's the lady that created the Huffington Post? I can't think of her name off the top of my head. Her last name is Huffington, and I can't think of it. But one of the quotes that I love the most from her is the quickest way to finish something is to quit it. And I think at the end of the year, to quitting things and getting them off your plate is such a massive thing. Because one of the biggest things that you can take into a next year is a strong mental mindset. And if you're ending a year, maybe it's on a sleeper note, because I find a lot of people, what will happen is we'll start to get to the end of the year and you won't have hit goals, and you'll find things that weren't achievable, or you'll be disappointed in whatever, and you're going into the holiday season. So you're just like, I'm just going to mail it in. Next year, I'm going to do these things. And all of a sudden, your mindset's negative. You have no momentum, all those kind of things. So a good, easy way of creating momentum is to get rid of things off your list and to just tick off those things that are impactful, but you can do in a couple days. So you tick off those things and you create a little bit of momentum in your life, and it will actually shift your mindset going into next year. So you can take in so much more energy. But I just rambled on about a bunch of different stuff, and I want to talk more about this list and everything like that. But I feel like you guys probably want to hear from Dueces, so I'm gonna pass the mic over to him. But the main thing there is, I just want to say is, you need to have a shift in energy and mindset going into next year. The person that you are this year won't serve you going into next year. You're going to have to evolve. So just detract yourself from all those things that were the Dueces or the Viking or whatever you call yourself that was in 2021.
No, I absolutely love that, because that's the whole basis behind a New Year's resolution, right? Is someone will set this big elaborate goal for themselves and give themselves a year to accomplish. But if you didn't accomplish that by the end of that year, that's when you need to do what Mark is saying and have a look at your value system, have a look at what is actually important to you, and carry that stuff forward. One thing I like to do every New Year's is I burn my Christmas tree.
He's gonna burn mine too, guys. He's gonna burn mine as well.
I've got one more person to invite over for my New Year's party, and if he comes, then I'll have 5. I've got 5 trees to burn. And the symbolism behind burning the Christmas tree is that tree represents that current year. So by burning the tree, you're burning all the negativity, you're burning all the missed goals and stuff that didn't make it on your new list you're creating for 2022. You're just burning it all away. So it's the same idea with what Mark is saying, but I use something a little more visual, a little more energy, heat creating, because it creates a huge fire. And I'm excited if I can burn 5.
We need that heat with how freaking cold it is around.
Oh, I know. It's just crazy. It's crazy how cold it is out right now. But when it comes to setting new goals for yourself in 2022, you do need to be realistic, but you also need to set a goal high enough so that it does scare you. Because if it scares you, that's when you bring in that emotion. That's when you bring in the excitement to have that. Is that right?
Yeah, I love that. And you know, probably the majority of the people that are watching this or listening to this, and if you are, guys, give us a like, give us a love. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you're on like YouTube, hit us up with some comments and whatever maybe your New Year's resolution is. Maybe it's something that you wanted to throw away. Let us know in the comment section. Or just if you're checking out the podcast and you're on the audio version, just hit us up with a review. We really appreciate it. We actually read every single one and answer all of them. So everything that you guys send us, we always appreciate.
5 stars, baby.
Yeah, every time, baby. 5 stars. But yeah, like I totally forgot what we were just talking about because I went on a tangent.
Dropping the old, starting new, goals that scare you.
Yeah, and I mean the goals. So you're probably an overachiever. So you most likely you're on this, and it's probably the reason why you probably hit such heights in your life anyway. So for you, you're probably always shooting for the stars, and maybe sometimes that's really hard because maybe your most that you've ever grossed is say 50,000 in a year, and your goal for this next year is 500,000. And now you've never done that before, so you're going to have to change as a person. And maybe you hit 125,000, which is a massive achievement, but it's under your goal. So one of the things that you have to do is not just have this unfathomable goal. goal, have that, put that out there, but also have some other goals that are attached to other things in your life. And they don't always have to be like related to your job or related to your career or finances. They could be relationship based, like friends, or they could be like trip based with like family. They could be like spiritual, like if you wanted to be awakened some part of your spirituality, or maybe it's like you wanted to learn a new skill. Like those things can happen as well along the way, as long as it's all corresponding to that big goal. I would definitely make some of those as well, so you can continue to feed that energy beast, continue to create that momentum that will shift you on to that next thing and the next thing and the next thing, because those are just such massive vaulting points, right?
Yeah, totally. And it goes along with what we always talk about, the macros and the micros. You can have a big giant macro goal, but all your micro goals are just little ones that lead up to the macro, and it's okay to hit those. And that's what Mark was talking about. They need to correlate to your bigger goal. So yeah, if you make 50,000 a year and you're trying to make $500,000 in a year, you have some life changes you need to do. So put those life changes you need to do in your micros so that you can hit those. And you might not make the $500,000 yearly income your first go around, but hitting those micros will help you achieve it next year. So that will follow through into 2023 when you go through your value system at the end of the year, like what Mark was talking about at the beginning of this podcast.
Yeah, and like I really want to hit on this value thing one more time here. And if you don't know what a value system is, it's things that actually move the needle. And now what we do so often, and I know Renee and me have had tons of conversations about this, and it's just like you get caught up with the busy work. The busy work is not a value system added thing. Busy work is just bullshit. A lot of the time, it's us procrastinating. And it's funny, I was in this group, and this woman, she broke it down just amazingly for me today, and I loved it. It was a group call. I love masterminding, and I heard her break it down. And what she said was, so you know how people like to procrastinate and do like whatever. And she said that a lot of the women that she was working with, they came home and they actually reorganized their closet because it created a good space in their head. If they cleaned their closet, they reorganized their closet, all of a sudden their head felt a little bit better. But what they were doing is actually procrastinating from doing the big tasks that they had to do when they got home. So maybe it took half an hour, maybe it took an hour to clean their closet, but they came home, cleaned their closet. And we all do these type of things. So you have to ask yourself, what is the task that you do every single day that's like cleaning the closet? And I did air quotes there if you guys are watching audio or listening to audio. And what are the things that are like that aren't needle moving things, but you do on almost an every single day basis, so that you know that you're doing something so you can feel fulfilled for that monetary moment, but aren't really actually doing anything and are actually getting in the way for your actual real macro goals. And if you can start eliminating some of those, and you can stop doing those in your life, or you can stop cleaning your closet or playing those little video games that are holding up that half an hour or the hour every single day, instead of getting towards those goals, those 5 things that I was talking about that you want to achieve, then you're actually going to do so much. So one of the things I would say is just really dig deep on figuring out what are the things that you use to procrastinate with. Maybe it's writing an extra post that you know you don't need to do. Maybe it is, maybe it's cleaning your already clean room and you just dick around there. Maybe it's scrolling on social media. That's probably a big one for most people. But it's one of those things that you procrastinate instead of actually doing those engaging tasks that are going to change your life and get you from 50,000 to 500,000.
Yeah, exactly. Excuse me. One of the things that you said, you're seemingly busy, but you're not actually moving the needle. You're not actually doing something productive. I like to call that spinning the wheels. Like you're just sitting there and you're busy. Like you are busy. You feel stressed. You're doing this, you're doing that, but you're not actually doing anything, because tomorrow's going to be the same. And unless you can be real with yourself, notice that you're doing that, it's going to be hard for you to hit those micro goals, because I have Mark and Mark has me. And if I'm doing something, Mark will call me out and say, no, that's pointless. You should try to do this, and vice versa. Sometimes I look at his content and I go, bro, didn't need that. You tried a
And
little
then
bit.
I try to give him excuses like I was running on the treadmill, bro. Like, come on, give me a break.
But that's one of those moments where you're just spinning the wheels, right? So
It is.
you got to check yourself before you
Wreck
fall
yourself.
into that. I didn't want to be too cliche.
Oh no, man!
No,
You gotta have
it's,
that cliche moment, man. You gotta.
Got to be cliche in certain moments.
Oh yeah, for sure. Need it.
When the moment calls for it, I'll be cliche.
I love it. But I mean, in the essence, guys, is just clean off your life, clean off your slate, get yourself going to where you actually want to go in life, and actually see that clearly going into next year. Have it written down, and every single day intentionally go towards it, and don't spin your wheels like Renee was saying.
Yeah. So on this note, have you finished the walls you're putting up in your basement?
I did, bro.
Fucking right. So you don't want to carry that to 2022.
Well, I did not. Not only that is I actually, the reason why I'm sitting tonight is because I also, since the day I moved into my house, there's this mantle that they used to have a fireplace, and there was just rock tile in the middle of my office, so it just killed so much space, and I got rid of that today too. So I'm just, checking off these things so I don't take them to next year, and I can just live fulfilled. What about you, bro? Have you been checking off all those things from your list?
I have. Now that all the company for the holidays is gone and it's just me and my family at the house, I can really start focusing my time towards hitting those goals that I'm going to hit before 2022 hits.
It's crazy, guys. Like, we have super big aspirations going into next year. And I mean, Renee and me check in with each other daily and bug each other, and we constantly say these things. And one of the biggest things is even if you know that you're going to hit big things, it's so important to have those affirmations and have somebody that you can talk to. And we constantly say, like, we're not talking about the exact thing that we're going to hit. We just know it's going to be a huge year because our plans are going to go from this to this to this by the end of the year, and we don't know what all is going to happen. And there's no point of making definition on there, because we know we're going to blow it up because we're crazy mad scientists like that. So what we're doing is we just tell each other constantly, multiple times a week, that 2022 is going to be huge, and we constantly are revving each other up to just crush next year. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah, and it's all about putting in the reps too, because you can't just say it, not do anything, and expect it. There is the law of action as well. So it's more work, but the end result is going to be 100% worth it. And I mean, when you are setting your own New Year's resolution, think of it the same way. Don't care about how you're going to get there. Set the goal and start affirming it, and just start working.
And make sure it's about you. You have to make sure it's about you. It shouldn't matter what anybody else thinks or their judgments or their thoughts or any of those type of things on it. Just make sure it's about you and what you want to achieve. And that's all that matters.
That's awesome. This is our last podcast of 2021. How does that make you feel?
It's crazy, man. I've been wrapping up a whole bunch of stuff to end this year, and it's a weird feeling to be like, this is the last thing I'm going to do this year, because like this year has created so much in my life, and I'm so blessed because of it. But there's been so much struggle and so much walls have broken down mentally and all those type of things. And the person I've become by the end of this year, I've had just tremendous growth. And I feel like I've never been strong in my life. And I don't want to let go, because I know I've become so strong in these days. But I can't wait for the strength to create so much, not just for myself, but all the people that are in my life.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's nice to have that clarity. Get a little clarity every day.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Keep the doctor away here.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's it for this time, folks.
Love it. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. We will see you in another year.
Yeah. We'll see you next year. Dad joke. Dad joke. See you guys.
Thanks for tuning into the Online Entrepreneur Experience. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any episodes that we're releasing and any of these amazing pieces of value that we're giving out. And if you could take the time out of your day and leave us a review, we would be so grateful. We look forward to seeing you on that next episode.